Today we're going to discuss the era of Tin Pan Alley by using the song After You've Gone, written by Turner Layton with lyricist Henry Creamer. Layton and Creamer were two well-known Tin Pan Alley composers, and they were unique because they were one of the very few African-American duos working in that era. The song was first recorded in star Marion Harris, which was the same year that the very first jazz record was ever recorded for mass consumption. After You've Gone really depicts the Tin Pan Alley style because it's a standalone song with plenty of early 20th century jazz in it. We'll talk more about that later. It also uses the ABAC song form, which was very common in Tin Pan Alley and appears in songs such as My Romance by Rodgers and Hart and Look for the Silver Lining by Jerome Kern. After You've Gone also borrows its very first phrase from another popular Tin Pan Alley hit called Peg O' My Heart, which was a really common tactic used in Tin Pan Alley songs. But this song is very different because it only has 20 bars and each phrase is only 4 bars long, something to take into consideration when you're studying this song. Tin Pan Alley really needs to be placed in the context of both the era and its classic Americanness. Many songs from Tin Pan Alley are used in what we now call the Great American Songbook. This gives singers a lot of interpretive leeway. In 1963, Bob Dylan, on his album The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, said, "Most songs nowadays have been written uptown in Tin Pan Alley. That's where most folk songs come from." And as we know, folk music is widely open to interpretation and reinvention. Stephen Purdy, in his book Musical Theater Songs, states, "When styles change or fall from favor, they often fall from convention." So, what conventions from Tin Pan Alley should we keep, and which conventions can we dispense with altogether? Jazz. Very important when singing Tin Pan Alley style songs. Singers should absolutely phrase creatively, prioritizing rhythm over pitch, accenting all the syncopation, swinging eighths, and experimenting with back phrasing. Here are some examples that I've provided. After you've gone and left me crying, after you've gone, there's no denying. You feel blue, you feel sad, you miss the dearest pal you ever had. Before any of my students begin to actually sing songs from the Great American Songbook, they are to go home and listen to as many examples of their song as possible. If they're researching After You've Gone, they might find Marion Harris's original 1918 recording, in addition to recordings by Judy Garland, Ella Fitzgerald, and even Fiona Apple. We might discuss how Harris and Apple both choose to do the intro, also known as a verse in this style of music. We might discuss that both Harris and Apple do the song very up-tempo, whereas Ella Fitzgerald chooses to do the song so slow that it might even be considered a ballad. Judy Garland begins the song up-tempo and then dramatically slows it down on the second verse. All 4 singers do tags or outros in their own individual way. Because Tin Pan Alley songs are not married to a plot line or a character, singers are invited to invent their own storyline that provides a strong emotional subtext. We can discuss how we might choose a perspective as a singer. In After You've Gone, a singer might be able to choose a perspective such as dismissive, bitter, or longing. Can you tell which perspective I'm choosing in this example? There'll come a time, now don't forget it. There'll come a time when you'll regret it. Now I'm going to sing After You've Gone, 2 times through. The first time I'll be singing it as a music theater student, might do it for an audition. The second time through, I'll be taking a more jazz approach, just for fun, and for your comparison. Today I'll be accompanied by my dear friend Dustin Adams, a professional jazz pianist.